UK Foreign Secretary says we will not send troops to Ukraine. Yay. I will survive for another few days. Or they're saying it because that's exactly what they want to do. Either way, hypothesis from Toasty. Yesterday, quote, France and UK are debating sending troops to Ukraine, World War III. Today, yeah, no, not actually. And then he says, if this doesn't make it clear that they're just trying to fearmonger and prolong without escalating too much to keep their money laundering scheme on, I don't know what does. Frankly, I think he's right. And I hadn't sort of put all the pieces together as he has here, but each piece individually I have also thought of. Ukraine, despite some contrary opinions, is, I think, primarily a money laundering scheme. We have another story today about just how much of that money has found its way back into the hands of Western politicians by total coincidence. So there's that. And that's its main purpose. And it's about to dry up. Because unless you are very pessimistic, I think it's quite likely that Trump will just immediately end that conflict day one, maybe even earlier than that. So what are the corrupt establishment doing? Fortunately, including UK, France, US, lots of other proximate countries. What are they doing? They're trying to escalate it because Putin was willing to make peace before Trump's even elected. But if they escalate it, Putin won't make peace. So for the next 2 months, they're going to try to launder as much money as they can out because the rats are leaving the sinking ship and they want their golden parachute, and Ukraine's the way to get it. I think they're cashing in right now. All the favors they've been doing over the years, they want to cash in now. And I think Ukraine's the way they get that money. So I think it's as simple as the US sends loads of money, mostly the US, to Ukraine, and then some of it goes towards maintaining the excuse for the laundering, i.e. the war, but most of it just immediately comes back into their pockets directly. It's just a way of money laundering taxpayer money into their pockets directly. It's so shitty. But that's how bad things have got. You know, that prediction about how the US would go, where people will, it'll last as long as it takes for people to realize they can vote themselves money. Now, that do not really be true. You know, some things that you could liken to that, but that's not really what killed it. No, what killed it is the other way round. The politicians figured out that they could just steal the people's money, the nation's money, through their own policy and cover it up through their own policy and through connections to the media, who they'd also include in this. It's just this massive web of mutual benefit that's emerged quite naturally over the years, which is the structure of the Western world. And stability is useful, but it's gone too far. It's too abusive. It's too destabilizing. And the stability it provides is no longer worth it. So we're going to try something else and hope we can gain some stability from that. And the movement characterized by the MAGA movement in the US and other elements elsewhere is that next generation, that attempt to replace the very corrupt establishment with a more straightforward, hopefully more stable, ultimately, more equitable establishment. But yeah, the Ukraine war really ought to end for lots and lots of reasons. The only people who want it going are the corrupt establishment for exactly the reasons I just gave. And I think Toasty is right. This is what they're doing right now. They don't actually want World War III, as I've said. Not even the worst person you can imagine in the world, who is actually very powerful. You know, there are some very resentful people who do, but the really powerful people who are evil, they don't want nuclear hellfire. They don't want the whole world to become a nuclear hellscape because they currently have power. And they only, make no mistake, they only have power because people believe they have power. Yes, they have money. What is that? Accreditation. It's a claim by a person with authority, i.e. a bank. They can order people around because they have money or influence. But again, it's all social. It's all social. There's nothing they have which goes beyond the ranges of a stable society, of this stable society, no less. So they don't want nuclear hellfire. They want to get things as hot as they can get them without them being killed or their assets being destroyed or anything like that. Just in order to keep the war going. They just want to try and prolong it so that they can cash out before Trump gets in, because Putin was willing to make peace even before Trump was inaugurated. Next up,